And welcome back, everybody. It is another Tuesday night. Nice Tuesday night, I might add. The weather has finally lifted, and we're getting some relief from all that really, really cold weather. So, first off the bat, I would like to wish a very, very, very happy birthday. A good friend of mine is turning 73 years old, 73 years young, tomorrow. So, happy, happy birthday, Rick. I hope tomorrow is your best day ever. And Scott has already made it in here. Happy Taco Tuesday. Yes, it's taco night. I need to get some of those tacos. Hello, family and friends. Hello, Scott. How you doing? How's everything up north? Are y'all still snowed in? We finally got some relief. I'm so happy about that. So, as I say over and over again, this channel is for you guys. And this week I have had two people ask if I could kind of show some things. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to, for my boys, they are looking into dash cams. So I'm going to show you some footage of a dash cam, show you the one I recommend. It's the one I have. And when I was buying dash cams, I researched things to death. And this one got really high reviews. It had really good footage. I did try a different one. I won't tell you which one, but it didn't go so well. It overheated and there was just a whole lot of issues with it. So I upgraded to the one I have, and it's fantastic. So Randy's made it in. Hey, Randy, how you? Didn't mean to upset the apple cart last night, guys. I just hadn't put out a video in so long, and Jim specifically asked me to do one on that bag, so I thought, well, I'll just, I actually had made that video several months ago, so I just got around to finishing the edits and got it out there for Jim. So I will show, he asked, that's the second part of tonight's video, is he asked about the size differences. And since I have both the 28 and the 38, I'll show you the size differences. So, we don't have any music playing, do we? Well, that's just not good, but that's okay. It's always something. And here's our friend from down under. Good day, Sly. Good day, Roy. How are you doing, sir? I hope all is well down under. So I'm gonna, I guess, kind of wait for some of the boys to come in. They need to say hello, so I know they're here. I call my son's friends the boys. So let me shoot him a text real quick. On now. And see, because I know they're all gaming. So he'll just put a word out and say, hey, go over and see what's going on. Speak of Mr. Mundy himself. Hey, Sly, happy Tuesday. How are you, Jim? The second part of the video will be for you. I'm going to show you the difference between the 28 and the 38. I did drop the video of the 28. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And Mr. Lazuka made it. Hello, Sly and friends. Just preparing my dinner, but we are listening and enjoying. Thank you. I'm so glad you made it in. And what are you having for dinner? Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, so we're going to assume that the boys are just not saying anything, maybe. Let's see. No, they're probably not here yet. Well, I don't know. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe not. Yeah, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, guys. I think it tells YouTube you like me. I'm not really sure. But anyway, it seems to make a difference. So since Jim is here, why don't we do this backwards, and we'll do the bags first and then the dash cams second. I was going to do it the other way around, but, since Jim's here, we'll just do those first. Scott says, mild weather. We are having a thaw. Awesome. It was like 65 degrees here today, right? I mean, you go outside and it's just like, spring. I think it's coming. Now, we have had snow as late as March. So don't get your hopes up. But I think we're on the downhill slide. When we do have snow that late, even in January and February, it doesn't stay very long. So by March, it really doesn't. It's like a one-day event. But I'm enjoying the nicer weather. Okay, so Jim, here's the backpack. This is the 28 liter. And I'm going to scoot way back so you can see the difference. Okay. Can you kind of see? Okay. So the blue one is the 28. The black one is the 38. Now, from this perspective, they don't look that much difference. But when you turn them sideways, the 38 is a lot deeper. So, what that means to me, oh, and one's black and one's blue. The black one, I think it comes in an all black, but the black one that I got has the green interior because I just thought that was kind of cool looking. So I did put everything in this bag when I was going to Las Vegas, and you can overpack. And what I mean by overpack is you can put so much weight in here, and then you have to carry it from point A to point B and all points beyond. And I got this too heavy. So I ended up taking the 28 because of you can't get as much in the 28, and so it doesn't weigh as much. But they both would fit. There was plenty of room for the 38 to fit under the seat in front of you. So, but I did just drop the video on the 28. The 38 is exactly the same. The compartments are just a little bit bigger. Now, the main compartment where you put your clothes is a little bit deeper. So you could get like another layer so probably another day's worth in the 38. But I was just letting you know. And there's Miss Debbie saying, Rick says thank you for the birthday wishes, and he's glad to know a movie star. Yeah, that's what yeah. I'm on the TV, so I must be, right? Jim says, I saw the dimensions were the same on the sides except for the depth. So grateful for your thoughts. Amtrak, here I come. I am dying to go on an Amtrak trip. I think it would probably have to be a solo trip because I don't know anybody that would go with me. But I just think it would be so cool. I haven't decided yet if I would need a sleeper or if I would just... I think probably I would need a sleeper. But I would love to go from Oklahoma. You have to go to Oklahoma City and then go down to Fort Worth. And then you can go out to California. So I would love to do that instead of flying, but it is so much more expensive. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, so I'm assuming the boys are here and they're just not saying anything. Boys, I did this for you. But Jim, I really think you're going to like that bag because I like it because it's so squishy. Okay, now it's not squishy like where the laptop and stuff go, but the front is really squishy. So you can either pack it out or not, and it stuffs in places, which I kind of like. But when it's under the seat in the airplane, if you put it in like this facing the front of the plane, this pocket is totally accessible. So you can put your stuff in there. So after I get through TSA, I usually put my the stuff they want to see, which last time I flew they didn't even ask. So, but I put the clear travel airplane thing with your shampoo and stuff in it. I put that in there, and then when I get through TSA, then I move it to the inside of the bag, and I have room for my sling bag or whatever. So, nice bag. Okay, so the boys were asking about dash cams. I have a dash cam. I have had one for years. This is the one. Now, I'm going to try to make this smooth, but you know it's not going to be. So, bear with me. This is the one that I have. It's the VOFO A129, $189. I think they have come down since I bought it, because I think it was a little over $200 when I bought it, but that is the bomb diggity. Now, as you can see, it has a forward-facing camera and a rear-facing camera. Why, you ask? Let me show you. I'm going to run some footage. So this is the forward-facing camera, and that's a pretty doggone good picture. Now, I run it in 1080 because it will do 4K, but I run it in 1080 because of the file size. So I use a 128 gig memory card. It takes a micro SD, and you can get so many more files running it in 1080 than you can in 4K. Now, it does loop, but in 1080 it keeps about a week's worth of information on there, and it takes like 3-minute videos, and that's a pretty good picture. Now, it was somewhat sunny, but it was a cloudy day, and that's the front camera. That's the rear camera. Okay, on the same, like, it's always taking a front and back picture. So that's the rear view of what I just showed you on the front view, and I think it's an equally good picture too. So these are very, very cheap insurance for if you are in a wreck, right? So this is just out. We have a lot of turnpikes in Oklahoma, and there's hardly anybody on them, so I take them a lot because there's no traffic. But it'll show you, if you look at the bottom of the screen, it shows you how fast you're going, your location, longitude and latitude, and then the date and the time. So if you're in a wreck, you can prove he hit you or you hit him or whatever. Now, this one is, the wrong one. Did I miss one? Yeah. Okay. So this is the forward facing, like in traffic. And I'm blind as a bat, so I can't really see license plates anyway. But I mean, it's got some pretty clear, and then this is the rear facing of the forward facing that we just watched. So it's got a pretty clear picture, all things considered. And now I wanted to show you a night view, because, you know, any camera looks good during the day. But, I mean, for 1080 and night vision, I think this is a pretty good, it would definitely give you a leg to stand on if somebody hit you. Case in point, my son was in a wreck. The lady ran a red light. He does not have a dash cam. So at the scene of the accident, she admitted fault because she was texting on her phone and her kids were in the back distracting her, and she just didn't see the light. And so she ran through it and hit him. When it went to the insurance, she said he hit her. So it was his word against hers, and so they each had to pay for their own damages. So if he'd had a dash cam, it would have given how fast he was going, which he was stopped, his location, and the time, and a picture of her hitting him. Now, as you can see, it shows like basically the whole front of the car, and then the backward view pretty much shows the whole back except for the passenger area. So if they smack T-bone you in the driver's side or passenger side door, yeah, you're pretty much going to be out of luck unless you can see them coming. But everything else around the vehicle, it picks up. And I think it does a remarkable job. Now you can get a button that's an additional, let me see if I can find this. Where am I at? They do have a button that's an additional $20, and it's just mounted in my truck. If I were to be in a wreck, I can push the button and it locks that clip to where it won't record over it. So, knock on wood, I've never been in a wreck since I've had it, but if I were, you can get this button separately, hit the button, and it locks that. Otherwise, it loops, and like I said, it keeps about a week's worth at 1080, and it will just, let me go back to me. I know I'm on here somewhere. There I am. It will just loop and record over itself. So I've had the card in there for about 3 or 4 years, and it's still fine. Honestly, this is the first time I've pulled it out in probably 2 years. When you first get it, you keep checking the footage and you want to look at it, and then it just kind of sits there. But it records. It's on all the time. Now it sleeps some of the time, but I can't tell you how much footage I had to dig through to find me actually driving, because most of the time my truck sits in the driveway and it just records its little heart out for certain clips. I mean, it doesn't, like, it's not on 24/7, but it'll like go to sleep and then it'll wake up, take a picture. Now, if somebody were to bump the truck, like sitting in my driveway, if somebody were to try to break in, it will come on, it will wake from its sleep state and record, if somebody's trying to steal the tailgate or whatever. And so it's a pretty handy thing to have, and it's incredibly cheap insurance. Less than $200, and you've got proof that they hit you. So I thought it was pretty cool. My boys were asking me about dash cams, and they wanted me to make a video, and I'm like, oh, not really my thing, but I mean, I could, but I thought, well, I'll just show it on Tuesday night, and if they have any questions, then they can ask me straight up. Roy says dash cams need 4K or you can't read the number plates. That is probably true, but it sure makes the file. I mean, I get about a week's worth now at 1080. At 4K, I would probably get a fourth of that, so maybe a couple of days worth. It was kind of interesting when I was looking for clips. It was kind of interesting to see what I had done in the last week. All the places I had been. Apparently I get around more than I thought I did. Jim says, wow, and the dash cam looks like it has GPS. It does. So as far as location, it'll actually give the location of where the accident occurred, at what time, the speed you were going, not the speed that the other person was, but in the case of my son, he was sitting at a green light waiting for traffic so he could turn left, and she just came right through. Yep. Lewis says, what's the weather like over there? It is very, 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 very nice, especially for the end of January. It was like 65 degrees today, and after you're acclimated to such cold weather, like 17 degrees, 24 degrees, 65 is like t-shirt weather. Now in the summertime, if it was 65, I'd probably have on a light jacket. But in the wintertime, when it's 65, it's like, woohoo, and t-shirts, out the door you go. So it was very, very nice, very sunny today. Now tomorrow we're supposed to get some rain, but that's okay. A little water never hurt anybody as long as the temperatures don't drop. I'm okay with water. Roy says, check that card more often. My wife's card dash cam card failed, and I didn't know it for 6 months. You are 100% right. I need to do that. There is an app on the phone, a VOFO app, so you can, every time you get in it, which is what I used to do when it was new, you can connect to it and make sure the card's working. And you don't have to take it out, because It is a micro SD card, and I don't know why they do this, but I have it positioned on my passenger side, right kind of by the rearview mirror. There's maybe that much room in between the mirror and the dash cam. That's the side the SD card is on. So trying to get your fingers up there and get that little thing out is not, I mean, it's not difficult, but it's not the easiest thing. It's not like, I don't even know, it's not like my, action camera where it's sitting on the desk and I can just, have all the room in the world. It's kind of tucked up in there, so it is kind of hard it's not hard. It would be easier if it was on the other side. Let's just put it that way. Roy says the tiddlywink card. Exactly. But I did notice when I took it out, the spring is not as strong as the computer, because I have hit the spring and had that thing fly 6 feet out of this. When I took it out of the dash cam, I mean, it came out, but it did not fly, because that would be really, really bad in a car. If it like flew out, how would you ever find it? So Lewis says, Sly, I'm going to save up for your recommendation. If you're ever in a wreck, and I hope none of you are, like I said, I've had this thing for, I think, 4 years, 3 or 4 years, and I thankfully, I have not needed it. But if you do need it and you have it, it just makes life easier. If my son had had a dash cam in his car when he got hit, she would have had to pay 100%. Yeah. So it just saves you some hassle, I guess. Plus if somebody is acting stupid, there's a lot of road rage out there, and that includes Oklahoma. I just saw a video the other day of a guy in Oklahoma City driving a truck, and this stupid car was being stupid, and I guess irritated him. And he was in a large pickup truck, the really tall kinds with the big tires, and this was a little car, and they were weaving in and out of traffic, and I guess they irritated him, and so he just took matters into his own hands. Now, somebody recorded it, but that little car was no match for that big truck. So there is road rage everywhere. Roy says, dash cams are at least as important as insurance. Absolutely. I think you should just add it to it, right? I mean, it's a one-time purchase. I'm going to say it's a one-time per vehicle purchase, because I hardwired this thing in. You can't see any wires. I've got a front and back camera. There's like this much wire showing from the back camera just until it can get under the trim, and it's hardwired in, so it's running all the time, just like your clock radio. Now, probably if my truck sat there for a very long time, it might drain the battery, but I left it for a week or 12 days when I went to Las Vegas, and I had no problem. So it doesn't drain as much as you think it does. It's just kind of a trickle drain. So yeah, I'm 100% sold. I'll never have another vehicle without a dash cam. Lewis says, definitely need it. I love cameras and not like bad drivers, right? Yeah, there are so many. Now, maybe it's because my truck's gray. I don't know. But I do get pulled out in front of a lot. I don't know if it's because Oklahoma is a legal marijuana state and people are just driving while they're high or what. But I get pulled out in front of a lot. Like you don't see me? I really think I should drive down the road with like flashing lights and, so I have those days. Yeah. Randall says, VFO A129 Pro. Is that, did you put a link? I think I put a link in the description. I should have. I think I did. Not 100% sure, but I think so. But yes, that's the, I don't know what the G sensor is, but it does have the motion. So if you go up and you shake the truck, it wakes up from its sleep mode and will record. So it is cool. Let's see. Jim says $200 for the dash cam, $1,200 for a trip to Oklahoma to have Sly help install it. Many years ago, I had a car alarm company. And so I am pretty good about hiding wires, and my truck is like a custom, I kind of go overboard. Oh, does that surprise any of you? No. So yeah, I have all kinds of gadgets and gizmos aplenty, and they're all hidden. So I have like a charger for my cell phone where the wires are all hidden through, and it comes out of the dash, and there's a magnet that it sits on, and so it charges, which is really handy because if I'm going somewhere, and I use it more and more, even if I know where I'm going, because it gives me a time when I'm going to get there. I'll put the GPS on my phone, and it's just like kind of about like right there, and so you can just glance at it, and it runs through the radio and talks to you and all that good stuff, and so it'll tell you where to turn and all this stuff. If there's speed traps ahead, and it's a wealth of knowledge. So I don't hardly ever travel without my GPS anymore. I don't know how we made it without that. Lewis says, Sly, what's your goal this year? To get back to making 2 videos a week and 1 live stream. I have not been making that. My son also bought me a membership to a gym, so I can start swimming. That's kind of, I don't like exercise at all of any kind, but I do love to swim, and swimming is supposed to be really good exercise, and so that's going to be my kind of, when I went to Las Vegas, I was feeding my friend 3 meals a day, trying to get her to eat, and like a dummy, I was eating with her, and so I gained quite a bit of weight, and I have not been able to get it off. I think I've lost like maybe 3 pounds, so I'm going to start swimming, and hopefully that will get the weight off, and I want to get back into 2 videos a week. So that is my goal for this year. And I've got several like small goals along the way that have nothing to do with each other, but that's my big goal for this year. Scott says, I bought a little Aki dash cam. Problem was I had to plug it in when I began my trip, then unplug it when I got back home. For a cheap dash cam, the quality was amazing. So I looked into those, and I wasn't going to say the name, but I guess I will. So the first one I had was a Garmin, and incredible picture, but it overheated like a lot. So, and I think, this has been 4 years ago, but it wasn't hardwired. So, you had to like charge it up. So yeah, it just wasn't a good fit for me because I'm not really one to do that. I just want to install it and let it do its job, and I don't want to have to think about it again. So yeah, I really like that easy button, in case y'all haven't figured that out. And Carlos made it in. Hi, Sly. Yes, swimming is amazing for health, and 2 videos a week is awesome. Thank you. How are the fires, sir? I have not seen any. I've seen devastation, and I've seen a few fires burning here and there, but I have not really seen a whole lot more. So how are you doing? Is the smoke dissipating? I know I talked to a friend of mine that lives out there, and he said it wasn't the fire they were concerned about, it was the smoke. and it was horrendous. So let me know how you're doing. I've been praying for you. Lewis says, incredible Slywe're here, ready to comment, like, and support. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Roy says, a GoPro can be used as a dash cam too. Yes, it can. So can my Osmo Action. And I did, when I was in Las Vegas, I had my little selfie stick, something like that, and I had it extended and had it sitting on the dash so I could kind of hold it, but it would get a good picture. And yeah, with my dash cam, I don't have to hold anything. I don't have to think about anything. It's just a good, for me, it's a good fit because I don't have to do anything. I just get in the truck and drive like normal, and I don't have to think about, but I'm getting the video, right? So yeah, I that's just one less thing that I have to think about. But you're right. GoPro, Osmo Action, either any action camera. You could get one of those little 360, the little one, the little white one. I think it comes down in black, but it clips on the bill of a hat, and I wear a hat a lot, and so I could put that on there, and it would do the same thing from the front, but you wouldn't have that back coverage. So I kind of like having both, right? In Oklahoma, tailgates are stolen every day, right? And so if they may still get my tailgate, but I'll have a picture of them doing it. So I like that. Carlos says, we are okay now. Thankful for the president who showed up earlier this week and schooled our mayor to speed things up. So did Trump come out to California? I don't watch the news, and I know it's really bad. But so if Trump came out, I wasn't aware. Lewis says, what did you eat in Vegas? Well, every morning I got up. So my friend is in a wheelchair. She's 92 years old. And her idea of pretty much a daily meal is 2 cups of coffee and a I don't know what they're called, but they're about yay long, and it's like a piece of hard toast with chocolate on it. Okay? That's her idea of a meal. And that's all she eats because she can't cook for herself. So every morning I got up and I made sausage and eggs, and she loves crescent rolls. And so I made crescent rolls every morning. And then for lunch, I would usually have like a roast or, leftovers from dinner the night before type thing. And so, and we ate a lot of roasts and hams, and I made a pork roast and a lot of potatoes. And I was just trying to get her to eat like 3 times a day. So we usually ate a little bit lighter for dinner, maybe cheese and fruit and, stuff like that. But she loves sweet potatoes. So I fixed a lot of sweet potatoes. And she sat down one day and she ate, oh my gosh, like 3 sweet potatoes all by herself. So I think maybe I put a little bit of weight on her. You really can't tell, On me, you can tell because I'm up and moving, and my clothes don't fit as good as they used to. And, but at her age, she wears those pull-on stretchy pants. So I don't think she could really tell if she had gained any weight. I could sure tell. So I'm not a good cook by any stretch of the imagination, but when your diet has consisted of 2 cups of coffee and that piece of toast, and it's not even like a piece of toast, it's like a little, I don't know what you call them, but they're skinny and they're about this long and they've got chocolate on one side. So when you go from that to the amount of food I was fixing her, I was probably upping her calories by about 2,000 a day. And unfortunately, I was upping my own calories. So Carlos says, yes, Trump came out. We needed someone to help us get through the bureaucracy. Yeah. Our mayor wanted 18 months to start the cleanup. Trump brought it down to 1 week. 18 months is ridiculous. That's like, I mean, you guys, bless your heart. I'm glad Trump came down. Jim says they steal the tailgates off the truck. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's a huge, huge, huge market for tailgates. And so mine actually locks, but there are times I forget. So even with it locked and I have a topper on, so it would be harder for them to take, but they could still figure it out. So no tailgate is safe in Oklahoma or Texas or any of the states that are predominantly pickup trucks. Lewis says, did you go to the buffet? We didn't eat out a whole lot. And we didn't go to any buffets because the casinos that had buffets pre-COVID, they shut them down during COVID and they didn't open them back up. So we used to, whenever we would go to the casinos, some of them had the most fabulous buffets and they're all gone. So now you go in and you order off a menu. So it's a little bit different. Randy says eclairs. Well, it's not really a donut. It's a hard, I can't think of what they're called. Like an eclair is more of a soft donut. This is like, they're in a can. And I don't remember how many is in the can, but there's like, it's a can about yay big. And I think there's maybe like 20 in there. And they're just long and you just pull one out. But that's what she lives off of, if there's nobody there to cook for. So, yeah, so I did the cooking. Lewis says, did you watch any shows? We didn't, but the first night I was there, and I think I showed this on one of the live streams, we went down, there's like on Fremont, I think is the name of the street. There's like this huge light show. And it goes over where you walk. And it's like 2 blocks long. And it is amazing. Now, under that is all these street performers. It's kind of a scary thing. I'm glad I wasn't by myself. And my friend didn't get to go with me, but her brother-in-law took me down there. And it was an amazing, I videoed it because the lights were just amazing. So, didn't go to any of the shows. It's really hard for her to get out and about, and she loves to go to the casinos. So I think 6 of the 12 days I took her to casinos, and she just sits at a machine, and when she's ready to, and she'll sit there for 6 or 7 hours. I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But and she may like walk, roll herself with her feet to the next machine, and it's just the cutest thing ever. And I'm glad she can at least do that, and that brings her joy. So yeah, I'm very tickled that she gets to do that. Carlos says, I live right next to the Rose Bowl and look forward to tailgating there whenever there's big games going on. So don't you have a taco too? I thought you did. I could be wrong. Somewhere in my memory bank, I seem to remember you having a taco, but I could be completely off. But yeah, those tailgates are pretty. I guess they like to steal those. The Chevy, the Silverado tailgate, the Ford F-150, the Toyota Tacoma, the Toyota Tundra is another big one. And then the GMCs that have come out with the double tailgate where you can just open a little bit or you can open the whole thing, those are a real high theft item too. It just runs the cost of the insurance when you're driving a pickup truck up because they are a high theft item. Scott says the Fremont Street experience. There are some naughty things down there too. Yeah, yeah. And when you go, we went down about 11 o'clock, and but that's okay. I've seen pretty much everything. So, uh, like I said, I would not want to be down there by myself, but I was glad to have someone with me. Lewis says, thank you for sharing your joy with us, Sly. Lewis, I am in such a good place in my life right now. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything else. I am just happy as a lark and enjoying life to the fullest. And, I get such joy from such little things. My son and I changed out the dishwasher here, and I was like a kid at Christmas. It was like, whoo, I have a new dishwasher. I know, silly, but it's just, I'm in a really good place right now. So, Carlos says, just saying, I think 2025 is an important year for small creators. We really need to go full throttle because I think YouTube is paying a little bit more attention to small creators right now. So, I don't know if it's like, if they're paying more attention to us. I think it's just our time, right? It seems like now my audience is huge overseas, not so much stateside, but I think most of my subscribers probably come from like India, but I get a lot of really, really nice emails telling me, that they love what I do or whatever. And some of them, I have had to translate some of them. So I just, that to me, that is so cool that YouTube has a worldwide audience. I mean, like, we're talking to Roy, who's in Australia. How cool is that, right? The chances of me ever meeting Roy are pretty slim. I mean, he's half a world away, right? But through the power of the internet and YouTube, it makes the world smaller. And so it brings everybody a little bit closer, which I love that, right? I think I have always thought that passports really need to be, you should be able to go anywhere in the world that you want to go. I have a good friend in England. I would love to go visit her. You have to fill out all this paperwork about why you're going, how long you're going to stay, who you're going to stay with, or where you're going to stay. Everything is so documented now. And I really just would like to see the world open up. It never will, and I understand that. I'm a big girl. I get it. But it would be nice. And YouTube kind of bridges that gap to where I can talk to people in Canada and Australia and California and Florida. And you guys are just like right here with me. So I just think that's so cool. That to me is like nirvana. Lewis says, small creator checking in. Lewis, you do phenomenal with I guess you're doing it with your phone. I love your videos. When you do videos with your grandmother, those are so precious, and I hope you're keeping those. I have a hard drive. It's right here. I think this is a 2 terabyte. I don't know, 2 terabyte, maybe. This is my family album. I make a ton of videos with my grandson. Sometimes they all have my grandson in them, okay? But sometimes it's my grandson and my daughter or my son or whatever. And just everyday stuff. And they're all on here. So instead of having, and I have, because I've been around for a minute, I have a lot of photo albums that are like big, heavy, coffee table size books, right? And they're fun to look at, but this is so much more portable. And so when my grandson, he likes to watch videos, especially if he's in them. And so I'll just plug it in and we'll pick one, and maybe it'll be a pumpkin patch, or maybe it'll be the day we went to the playground, or maybe when we went to the nature center. So everything is on this, which I just think is like too cool. And Roy, don't scare me and tell me that this might go bad, because that's like, that has got so many memories on it. That's probably the most important piece of equipment in this room. So, just saying. Lewis says, adult excitement is new appliances that are repaired. No, so, a lot of you know I used to work at Lowe's. And I was there for 18 years. And you acquire a lot of stuff when you work at Lowe's. Okay? You're there for when they mark things down stupid cheap. And so I got like a $1,200 dishwasher for $200, right? But I had never installed it. So it was brand new in the box. And when the dishwasher here has been wonky since I moved in, we finally got around to changing it out. So I'm so happy that now I have a really nice dishwasher. And we put it in, and in another lifetime, I was a really good plumber. But if you don't use those skills, I was afraid that maybe I was losing some of that. Because, I mean, let's face it, it's been 20 years, right? I hadn't lost a thing. I mean, everything hooked up like it was supposed to. I had to replace a few things, but, that's with any project. You're going to run into something unexpected. But when we fired everything back up, no leaks, everything worked great. And it just made me very happy. It was a very happy day. Jim says, Backblaze is pretty cheap cloud backup for those family videos. But it's a cloud, right? So I will look into that. I don't know. I'm kind of old school, Jim. I kind of like to have things like in my hand. So I have a ton of pictures on the cloud. I'm not sure which cloud it is, but it's the cloud. And they're fine. But at some point, I want to get all those pictures off the cloud and into my hands. Randy says, replacing 2 cold and hot water valve for a shower and bathtub. Hot water not working very well. Replace the dishwasher when it stops working. Just put in a new garbage disposal. So the garbage disposal is probably next on my list. Only because I think it's a little bit underpowered. This is a rental unit. And so they put the cheapest that they can possibly put in here. And so I'm just upgrading a little bit. Not a big deal. A friend did ask me if I ever have to move, and am I taking all this stuff with me? And I said, no. I'll just fix the next place up. I'm the one that has to live there. But yeah, the shower valve in the bathroom is probably one of the trickier ones because you have to get into the wall. So my kudos are off to you. If you need help, just give me a ring and I will walk you through it. Lewis says, you're right, Sly. Precious memories. Thank you for being there for me to encourage me to share. Yeah, I think, Lewis, all you have to do is look at everybody around you. Randy, Jim, Carlos. Everybody is making wonderful videos. I mean, there is so much talent in this room. It's just amazing. Carlos, I love your videos. I love what you're saying. Jim, I don't understand a lot of what you're saying. I do try to follow along, and you are speaking English, and you are doing a very good job. But when you start talking about firewalls and, yeah, right there. Yeah. But hey, I can do plumbing like nobody's business, and I can do mechanic work in a car on a car like nobody's business. So we're each good at different things. Okay, so if you want to buy a dash cam and drive to Oklahoma, I will install it, and you can protect my computers. How about that? We'll do a little bartering here. Jim says Backblaze lets you keep the hard disk, but just back up to the cloud. I use them for all my phone stuff across multiple external drives. Okay, I'm going to write that down because short-term memory and all that good stuff. If I can find something to write on. Here we go. Backblaze. Okay. I will check it out. Yes, at one point when Peter was having so much trouble with his plumbing, his brother suggested flying me out to have me fix the house and then fly me back. Jim says, security guy is just watching out for you. Well, I appreciate that. I really do, because Lord knows I need all the help I can get. And my boys, who were asking about the dash cam and haven't come in yet, or maybe they're here and nope, they haven't come in yet. They're supposed to be helping me with a web page. So this year, I'm going to have my own web page. I have no idea what I'm going to put on it, but it'll be there. My daughter is trying to get me on Reddit, which while she was sitting here with me, we uploaded one video and it went well. It went over well. I haven't been able to figure out how to do it again. So she's going to have to come back over and reschool me again. So Lewis says, only Randy's videos, please. I'm not sure what that means. Randy says, Lewis, put up 2 more tonight. Cheers. Yeah, Randy he just knocks them out. I've had that video on the backpack for probably 3 months. And Carlos made a really good point. It doesn't have to be perfection, right? There were so many things I didn't like in that video, and I thought about reshooting it, and then I thought of what Carlos had said. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there. And so there are a lot of things that I would have done different. That in watching the video, you don't catch it until you watch the video back. But it is what it is. So my goal, 2 videos a week. And when I was doing that, the channel was growing. So I want to get back to that. Oh, only Randy's videos get recommended on my YouTube notifications. Well, you have to hit that little bell. So when you go to Jim Out Loud, you may be subscribed, but you have to hit the little bell in order for them to notify you. Now, having said that, I get notified about half the time for Peter's Friday night show. And I don't think I ever get notified for his big channel. Maybe one in a blue moon. So I don't know how YouTube does their... Because I did go back and check. And sometimes you have to unsubscribe and resubscribe to kick it in gear again. Because I have noticed that some of the people that I was following, I'm like, have these people not made any videos? Well, they have. And I wasn't getting any notifications. So when I would go and look, like when I'd hit my subscription thing, it would come up it has a little dot by who has a new video. And they would always have dots, but I wasn't getting notified. So I unsubscribed and then resubscribed, and it seemed to fix the problem on some of them. So you might try that, Lewis. If you've got the bell thing turned on, you might try unsubscribing and then resubscribing and see if it doesn't fix it. Randy says, I got everyone's notifications. Well, yeah, maybe it's the server. I don't know who would be in Canada, but Peter has says that he's had that problem too. So Randy says all notifications. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know how YouTube really does their thing, but I think, and they may be looking at the smaller creators, but I don't know. I don't really sense that any of that has changed. I think they're, it's kind of like everybody started doing YouTube like in mass when COVID hit because everybody was stuck at home. And then it kind of died off. You didn't see a whole lot of new creators. And now it's kind of back to a lot of new creators. So I'm extremely grateful that I have been doing it as long as I have, because that gives my channel some credibility. They look and they say, oh, you've been doing this for a minute. Yeah, and I haven't been real steady with putting videos out lately, but the first probably 3 years I was. So I want to get back into that now that I have time, and I want to make it a priority. Carlos says, bring me joy hearing you're in such a great place, Sly. Yeah, I mean, this is my year, right? This is probably, so far, this is the best year of my life yet, so far. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, because if you're at the top, is there room to go higher? Of course. But, yeah, I mean, I've had so many good, I call them chapters. I've had so many good chapters in my life. When my kids were born, that started a new chapter. When I first became a mom, I had the kind of the mom chapter, and I enjoyed the heck out of my kids, right? Now I'm in the grandma chapter, and I'm enjoying that like nobody's business. So I am probably making less, well, I know I am. I'm making less money than I've ever made in my life. So money doesn't make you happy. That's not the key, right? Because I am so much happier now than I was 6 months ago. So all my stress is gone. There's something to be said for doing what you love and love what you're doing. If you go to work just for the paycheck, which I did for a long time, that does not bring you joy. So, yeah, I'm in a great place. Lewis says, cheers, everyone. Enjoy your dinner, sir. You never did tell us what you're having, but enjoy your dinner. Are you having tacos? Randy says, subscribe and select all notifications on each subscribed channel that you watch, is what I'm saying. Okay, select all notifications on each subscribed channel that you watch. So I've done that. I've put the like I subscribe and then hit the bell notification, and I'm on most things, but there are some. Sold Out Media is one of them. I think they're out of Sweden or somewhere, and I rarely get notifications. I do some, but not all. And I know the notifications is turned on. So that is something YouTube's doing. Oh, Randy, thank you so very much. Randy gave me a super chat. It says, take time to take it slow and enjoy life. Yes. And there is so much stuff out there, right? I have connected with friends. Around Christmas, I had 2 friends pass away, and it made me realize that I had been neglecting my life, right? My friends, my family. And so by taking the pressure of corporate America off of me, it just really, I have gotten to reconnect with my friends and spend more time with my grandson, which he's number one, of course. So a friend sent me a video on this mother who was softly disciplining her child in Target. Okay, she was telling him no in a very nice way and explaining to him very nicely why he couldn't have a new toy. I have heard my daughter do that exact same thing. And my hat is off to these women, because when little man's with me and he gets upset, all I want to do is make him happy again. So Granny caves every single time. So I'm glad my daughter is there to explain to him why no means no, because he's turning out to be a very well-mannered young man, and it is no thanks to Granny, let me tell you. Lewis says, Randy in red. Randy is so generous. Thank you for the kind words and contribution to Sly. Love you all so much. Yes, I still can't believe that the super chat thing is like a thing. So every time I see one, it just kind of overwhelms me a little bit. Thank you, Randy. That really means a lot. But guys, we've made it our hour. Jim, if you have any questions about the bag, don't hesitate to reach out. Have you actually gotten the bag yet? I was going to show you. Did you get the 28? I think your email said you were going to. But I was going to show you how big since I'm pretty sure you probably take your laptop with you every time you go. This thing is huge. That's the laptop compartment. It's like ginormous, right? I mean, I don't even know if you can see all that, but it's the whole length of the bag. The whole length. The whole back is laptop. Now, I carry a keyboard, a separate keyboard that has the numeric pad, so it's longer than like the little short Apple keyboard, so mine's longer, and it even fits in there. So, yeah, that is an excellent travel bag, and I think you'll like it. Plus, okay, no, this side, okay. So that yellow bag right there, that's the Cotopaxi. I don't like the material. It's basically the same bag. It doesn't have a water bottle pocket, but it's got like the coating that Wandered uses that makes it kind of stiff, I guess. And I don't like the material. Otherwise, they're almost identical. And I do like having a water bottle pocket, because I usually buy like a bottle of water. You can take like a water bottle, or like, the stainless steel water bottle in with you, but it has to be empty. And then once you get through TSA, you can buy something at the airport and pour into it. But I just buy one of these. It's just easier. And it fits perfect in there. And then I've got some water on the plane. So Lewis says, Sly, I have been typing this on my iPad. Forgive me for the typos. Hey, no worries. No worries whatsoever, dude. Randy says, goodbye, everyone. See you on Friday in the Christmas Room Show with Peter Gregg. Cheers. Thanks for coming in, Randy. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the super chat. You guys mean the world to me. And I'm sorry about last Tuesday. I had a little stomach flu going on there. And it wasn't a pretty sight. So, but it only lasted about 4 days. And I didn't lose any weight. How can you go like 4 days with virtually not eating and I didn't lose a pound? I don't get it. I don't understand the whole, don't get it. But anyway, thank you guys for coming in. Oh, he snuck in under the radar. Hello, Mr. Richard. How are you? I have been watching some of your videos. I watched the one, I don't know if it was your latest one, where you were in a camera shop and you were trying to test out a camera using Jasmine as a model, and she was not thrilled with this whole process. It made me kind of chuckle because that's kind of the reaction I get when I try. Let me see if this is focused in right, and my family's like, "Oh, would you please put the camera up?" Yeah. So it made me chuckle. But how are you? How are you doing tonight, sir? I was just getting ready to sign off, so I'm glad you snuck in under the radar and said hi. So I will see everybody Friday in the Christmas room. If I will try to get to a computer. I did watch Peter's show last week, but I wasn't by a computer, so I couldn't say anything. If I don't see you Friday, I will see you next Tuesday. So thank you guys for being here so very much. And I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Good night, everybody.